Beyond the Gates might like to think that the worst is over for Eva. Ted now knows that he's her father, and she now knows that he wasn't aware she had ever been born. She's even gone to work, albeit nervously, as his new office manager. But Unpack, the vivacious daytime newcomer who plays the Spitfire, warns Soaps.com that her character isn't on solid ground. Not yet. It's still sort of rocky. I don't think you ever really find your footing after the kind of ordeal that happened. She's been through so much trauma, she adds, feeling like she's been abandoned and just parent complexities. She has a lot of healing to do. It could help if Eva were to reconcile with Mom Leslie. Or, considering that the wiggy villainess kicked her to the curb and framed her for Laura's accident, maybe not. What would it take for Eva to really, truly forgive Mommy Dearest? Changing, says the actress, arguably Soapdom's Rookie of the Year. Seriously, like being authentic and changing her ways. But Eva is so loyal and so sweet and compassionate that I feel like it won't take much for her mom to win her back, she continues. When you have a wounded heart, like Eva does, you can have your guard up, but you can also be more easily forgiving, especially when it comes to the parent that raised you and was there for you. Even if it's toxic, it's familiar. And Eva just found out that her mom is toxic. I think all her life she was like, oh, this is the way life is. It's been a shock to Eva's system to observe someone like Ted's estranged wife Nicole, who treats her kids entirely differently than Leslie ever treated her. But at least Eva has known exactly how to handle snotty newfound half-sister Kat. She gives as good as she gets, and maybe better. Yet, I think Eva really wants a relationship with Kat, Michelle says. It's hard, though, because Kat is just not having it at all. And Eva is completely insecure, especially when she's put up against Kat, because she has everything Eva ever wanted. Kat knows that, and she flaunts it in front of Eva, she goes on. In those instances, there's nothing Eva can do but take it, because it's the truth. She wants what Kat has. She just can't have it all. Eva may not be able to have it all. However, she may very well be able to have Kat's boyfriend, Tomas. They've been throwing sparks since they met. I think in the beginning, Eva just wanted to get back at Kat, Michelle theorizes, because there was nothing else she could do to lash out without blowing her cover. She was like, oh, this is the way I can get back at her without showing everyone that I'm not who I say I am. Then she starts to really like Tomas. In the wake of Kat's big date with her beau that went anything but according to plan, the door would seem to be wide open for Eva. In the days and weeks ahead, her portrayer teases that Eva's feelings for Tomas deepen. Anything can happen with them. Fresh off her scuffle with Haley at the country club, we pick back up with Dani in an even lower place, scrolling through her camera roll and remembering the good times with Bill. She's full-on sobbing as she insists, "He loved me. It was right there in his eyes. I'm not delusional." Anita swoops in to comfort her daughter, acknowledging that she put on quite a display of temper at the club. Even though Anita doesn't condone violence, she admits that sometimes folks deserve a sucker punch, though she also warns Dani not to make a habit out of it. Then comes the tough love. "You're a Dupree woman. Tap into that heritage," Anita says, adding that Dani needs to be mindful of the next man she decides to bring into the Dupree's inner circle. But Dani insists that she doesn't have time to look for anyone new, because she'll be too busy making Bill and Haley pay. Speaking of the other woman, Haley makes yet another attempt to re-enter the Dupree's inner circle, this time trying her luck with Nicole. Haley thinks that showing up to her office with cookies will help smooth everything over. But even after hearing her out, Nicole makes it clear that forgiving Haley is entirely up to Dani, and everyone else will follow her lead. "Please take your cookies and go," she says. And Nicole's morning had been going so well up to that point. She was excited about choosing the winner of the family's Heritage Foundation scholarship. She was putting together a menu for an upcoming event, and she even snagged some FaceTime with Ted, her hot plastic surgeon husband. If you don't think Nicole needs to keep an eye on her man, let's talk about what goes down at the hospital. Ashley receives a visit from her mother, their friend Leslie, and her daughter Eva, all of whom are very proud of Ashley. Ashley also enjoys another flirty exchange with Andre, but we're not here to talk about that playboy right now. No, we're more interested in Leslie and Eva. Could they have ulterior motives for visiting Ashley? When Nicole's husband Ted arrives at the hospital, Leslie's eyes linger on him a little too long for our liking. Suspicions are raised further. When Leslie and Eva return home, "You don't have to do this," Leslie tells her daughter. "I'll find another way that doesn't involve you." But Eva will not be deterred. "I'm involved, and I'm good to go," she says. "What makes me uncomfortable is thinking about what you went through all those years ago. You deserved better, Mom, and it's time for you to have it. So don't worry about me. I'm all in." Back at the club, Dani and Haley's public spat is still the topic of conversation for Vernon and Martin, who have slightly different views on the matter. Vernon remains firm in his belief that violence is never the answer, while Martin takes a more open-minded approach. "This isn't the bad old days. Some people deserve to get a punch in the face." Vernon then pivots to something Martin told him earlier that day, about wanting more. Martin insists there isn't trouble at home. He and his journalist husband Smitty are perfectly happy, but that he's seeking a new challenge. Vernon has gotten him all the way to the House of Representatives, but now what? Whatever the future may hold, Vernon assures Martin that he's a good man with a kind and generous heart, telling him, "I'm proud to call you my grandson. Nothing you've ever done has changed that, and nothing ever will." Martin returns home, where Smitty shares the good news that their teenage son passed his math test. But merely passing isn't good enough for Martin, and the fact their son is going through something doesn't seem to make a difference. Of course, that's just one problem on the parents' plate. They also have to decide whether they want to allow their teenage daughter to start dating. Martin seems generally checked out from what's going at home, and Smitty can't help but worry about him. He even notes that Martin has been having strange dreams again, which apparently happens during times of great stress. "Let's just call it an overactive imagination combined with exhaustion," Martin says. Back at Bill's office, Haley brings her fiancé up to speed on the Dani situation, but she stops him from immediately making an angry phone call. "This is my battle," she says. "You running to my rescue just makes me look weak." He obliges, but when she starts talking about wanting to cancel the wedding and elope, he decides to take action. And just like that, Bill is at the Dupree's front door. While he acknowledges that the punch was not cool on Dani's part, Bill isn't looking for an apology. He's just looking for bodies. Since Haley has no family of her own, Bill asks Vernon to rally his family and the community at large to attend the wedding. It's a hard no from Vernon. That is, until Bill asks him to consider all the favors he's called in for the Duprees over the years, saying that he's merely looking for the same consideration. "Just think about it, he says. When he relays the encounter to Anita, Vernon says that Bill seemed uncharacteristically humble and sincere, which is what worries Anita the most. They aren't sure what Bill is up to, but they agree on one thing: they can't trust him. More than that, they need to protect Martin at all costs. And what is Dani up to while all of this is going down? Oh, nothing unusual, just getting drunk in the mirror while she applies her makeup like an absolute lunatic. And why shouldn't she get all gussied up? She has big plans. The episode ends with Dani charging into Bill's office, golf club in hand, looking for a fight. And we'd say she's found one. Beyond the Gates spoilers reveal that, unfortunately, the soap is airing reruns during the week of June 30th to July 4th. The silver lining in all this is that these 5 episodes are the first 5 episodes of the new daytime drama. So for anyone who missed out on the premiere week and wants to catch up, this is the time to do so. The even better news is that the week the show returns should be an explosive one, and we have all the juicy details. Here's what fans can expect when BTG returns, the week of July 7-11. Beyond the Gates spoilers for the week of July 7th note that Leslie Thomas and Haley Hamilton will get to know each other better, and there's potential for the two ladies to team up. In a promo video, the two are shown sitting at the diner when Leslie tells Haley, "So friend, how are we going to help each other?" Haley seems to nod back with a smile. So will these two concoct a plan to get back at the Dupree family? In other news, Bradley Smitty E. Smith and Jacob Hawthorne will continue their investigation into Detective Marcel Malone, A clip in a Beyond the Gates preview shows the two at the police station as Smitty states that he's found a link between Malone and Vernon Dupree. Yikes! Will they discover the truth behind Martin Richardson's traumatic night 2 years ago? Vernon will continue to worry about his grandson that week too, as there will also be a scene between him and Dani Dupree. Vernon will look concerned as Dani asks if Marin is the reason he's so bothered. How will Vernon respond? Meanwhile, it looks as if Joey Armstrong's right-hand man, Randy Parker, will take center stage. The last fans saw him. He was pointing a gun at the mysterious country club busboy, Kenneth, linked to Martin's secret. During the week of July 7th, he'll be in a scene with his boss at the casino, as the two will seemingly be locked in a confrontation. In the BTG preview, the two are staring at one another when Dougal McBride walks in. Doug states, "What the heck?" And as he does so, the scene shifts to Joey grabbing the gun off the table. In addition, Vanessa McBride will have a chat with Randy at the local bar, with Doug by her side. She'll ask Randy if he's afraid of Joey, to which he retorts, "Terrified." Will Vanessa finally start to see Joey's true colors? Elsewhere, Naomi Hawthorne will be at the hospital at some point during the week of July 7 to 11. In a preview clip, she's on the phone with Jacob, asking him to come to the medical facility as quickly as he can. Why is she there, and does this have to do with Bill Hamilton and his recent stroke? Across town, Catherine "Cat" Richardson and Eva Thomas will get into a fight. They'll be in Ted Richardson's office when this happens, as Eva calls Cat a spoiled, selfish little bitch, while Cat retorts back, "Is that the best you've got?" Last, but not least, Andre Richardson will get caught in the act, so to speak. He'll end up taking Ashley Morgan up on her request for a date during the week of July 7-11, and they'll head to the local bar. CBS has decided to rebroadcast the premiere week episodes of Beyond the Gates during the 4th of July holiday week. In contrast, The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful will continue with a full week of new episodes, including on Friday, July 4th. Fans lit social media on fire with their anger and comments, some reading racism into the programming decision. Social media exploded after the announcement that Beyond the Gates would air reruns while Bold and Y&R presented new episodes. Some demanded it should be put in place of The Young and the Restless, not liking that soap. Fans flocked to X to express their frustration with CBS for this choice. CBS, what is going on with you guys? For real? Why is that hour never 12:31:30? Nobody cares about Naughty Hour anymore anyway. #Beyond the Gates. One post on X complained. Another user on X stated, "Not YR and Bold and Beautiful don't get pushed aside at CBS, but the black soap, #Beyond the Gates gets repeats. That's simply not fair at all, CBS." A different fan expressed on X, "Y&R and B&B will have new episodes next week, but the fact that #Beyond the Gates is airing repeats just doesn't sit well with me." Another fan inquired, "Hey everyone, let me ask you this. Since CBS is playing games with us, are we tuning into YR and BB next week or what?" One fan was frustrated, saying, "I'm really annoyed that #Beyond the Gates isn't airing new episodes next week, but with Friday being a holiday and it being summer, this could actually be a great opportunity." This fan saw a way to attract some new viewers with a revamped premiere week. "Honestly, I might still tune in anyway," they added. Another user on X remarked, "In my 52 years of watching soap operas, I've never seen a soap be preempted for a whole week without a valid reason." Another fan remarked, "This doesn't seem right, everyone. There's something off at CBS. We're not getting the full picture. I wouldn't be shocked if there's a major change occurring behind the scenes. #Beyond the Gates. I still don't get why next week's episode is being preempted. It's not like they're interrupting for something huge like March Madness or the Olympics. I'm confused," posted another user. "We agree that fan is confused. A week of reruns is not the same as preempting the program." However, not all fans voiced their frustration. One fan took to X to share that they would be tuning in to the rerun week to help keep Beyond the Gates' ratings strong. New episodes of Beyond the Gates are set to return on Monday, July 7th. As the matriarch and patriarch of the Dupree family, Tamara Tooney and Clifton Davis have been pitch perfect in their performances since Beyond the Gates debuted a few months ago. In June, the iconic actors were particularly memorable. During the first half of the month, Tooney was positively mesmerizing as Anita faced the demons of her past. The second half belonged to Davis, who showed fans that Vernon was a ferocious protector of his family. BTG actors gave viewers plenty of reasons to sit back in awe. Two of those performers were Colby Muhammad and Timon Kyle Durrett. Muhammad has been a standout as Kat Richardson. Kat has been obsessed with taking down Leslie Thomas and all of her alter egos. So much so, she has been more successful finding clues than Fairmont Crest's favorite police detective, Jacob Hawthorne. The actress has been consistently compelling as Kat, the resident Nancy Drew. Plus, she never backs down when it comes to facing Leslie and her daughter, Eva. Meanwhile, towards the end of the month, Durrett turned in a larger-than-life and intimidating performance as Bill introduced his fixer persona to that bigoted busboy, Kenneth. Yet a few days before, Bill made this heartfelt and seemingly sincere mea culpa to his ex-wife, Dani. Durrett is an unpredictable actor who has serious range. And while he's always good, he became great in June. In June, there were two actors who transcended the rest. Let's start with Tooney. Anita had to have a come-to-Jesus moment or two with herself. She had to admit that back in the day, in her heyday with the Articulates, she wasn't the nicest person. She made bad choices that she now realized were selfish, as she cut the cord with her fellow sisters and left them behind for solo stardom. Tooney was heartbreaking in her scenes with Vernon, her supportive husband. She was courageous as Anita defended some of her actions and refused to let Sharon and Tracy pin all the nastiness that led the fourth Articulate, Barbara, to take her own life on her. And Tooney gave a devastating performance as Anita read what was, in essence, Barbara's suicide note. Devastating. Once Anita flew the Fairmont Crest Coupe to rehearse with the Articulates in Chicago, it was Vernon's turn to show why he is his family's best protector. He pulled the strings to assemble the men who were all part of whatever happened to Martin 2 years ago that involved Kenneth. What surprised us was how ferocious Vernon sounded as he spouted orders on the phone, in scenes with Bill, and at the meeting that took place at Bill's law firm. Vernon always uses his soft, warm voice to share wise words of wisdom with his family. But thanks to Davis, Vernon showed BTG viewers that there was much more simmering below the surface, and it was such a pleasure to see the harder, darker side of Vernon.